Hello everyone, this is Professor Martinez and welcome to Unit 1. So I've started in the main Blackboard course shell and we're going to start looking at this Unit 1 module. In this case, let's click on the module introduction, and Unit 1 focuses on organic structure, molecular shape, and molecular polarity. Now, by the end of Unit 1, we'll be able to utilize chemical notation strategies to sketch Lewis structures from the molecular formula. We'll be able to translate a molecular formula into a condensed structure and bond line structure. Given the structure of an organic molecule, you'll be able to predict the chemical property of polarity for that compound. And finally, we'll be able to analyze chemical structures to estimate the molecular dipole. Now, to help us develop these skills and help us reach these module learning objectives, I prepared some learning activities and learning objects, as well as some assessments to measure your attainment of the module learning objectives. Now, Chapter 1 can be organized into 3 major parts. In Part 1, we'll focus on drawing Lewis structures from the chemical formula. In Part 2, we'll focus on drawing condensed structures and bond line structures given the molecular formula. And in Part 3, we'll focus on predicting molecular polarity from the structure. Now, the module is designed to be navigated from the first page all the way down to the bottom in the exact module page order. So for example, the first thing that we're going to do when we look at Module 1 is we initially have a pre-assessment. Now, this pre-assessment is designed to measure your understanding of topics from general chemistry that you need for organic chemistry. Now, depending on your score on this pre-assessment quiz, you may be required to complete a review lecture activity. Finally, there is a general chemistry review quiz, and this will set us up for the learning activities in Module 1. These include downloading and reading the Chapter 1 lecture notes, watching some lecture recordings, and viewing some lecture handouts. So to show you an example of what these learning activities would look like, here is an example of the Chapter 1 note set activity, where by the end of this activity, after reading over this note set, we'll be able to utilize chemical notation strategies to sketch Lewis structures from the molecular formula. So what you'll do is you'll download and read the Chapter 1 lecture notes, which are available for download and viewing on Blackboard. And you'll use these lecture notes during the lecture recording activities, where you'll watch these Chapter 1 lecture recordings and you'll annotate onto your lecture notes, following along as I lecture on each topic. Now, for the handout activities, here's an example with the Chapter 1 lecture handout. What you'll do is you'll download this lecture handout, read over the information provided, and then I have some examples and exercises for you to complete. Now, in terms of completing the assessments, for Part 1, in order to measure our ability to utilize chemical notation strategies to sketch Lewis structures from the molecular formula, I have prepared an online multiple choice quiz. This quiz looks like this, and all you do is input your responses into Blackboard, and then you'll receive immediate feedback depending on your responses. Now, after we complete Part 1, we'll move on to Part 2, which again has a lecture recording activity. The graded homework activities, here's an example. What you'll do for these graded homework activities, you'll download the graded homework, you'll complete the graded homework activity, and then finally you'll upload your submission onto Blackboard. Now, there's one last type of activity that I want to bring your attention to help provide us more methods of interaction. We also have a discussion activity. And again, you can access any of these activities via clicking these quick navigation links or from the main module page. And in this discussion activity, what you'll do is you'll post a problem onto the discussion forum and your proposed solutions, and then you'll comment and provide feedback and suggestions for how other students can approach the problem that they've posted. So that's our full outline for Module 1. And if you have any questions navigating this course shell, do not hesitate to reach out via email or via a meeting appointment during office hours.